Alright, so this morning we are just playing card for card some Warmother's Control off of Mobalytics. Warmother's Control, based around its namesake, Warmother's Call here, very powerful. 12 mana spell here. When you cast it, and at the start of each round, summon the top ally in your deck. So we pair this with a number of very powerful allies, such as She Who Wanders, champions like Tryndamere here. We've got some Trundles. We've got some Hearthguard. Then we do have one kind of stinker in Grinding Stones, but I think Grinding Stones seems pretty important. This, along with Catalyst of the Aeons, are ways that we can play our expensive cards ahead of curve. One thing I'm interested to see is this is currently rated as S tier on Mobalytics as of this morning, but with Lee Sin getting a rework, it makes Ionia a lot more powerful. So I wonder if this deck still holds up with more denies in the format. I mentioned when we played some Ionia yesterday that I think deny is currently the best it's been since I started playing Runeterra, 3-4 months ago at this point. So I'm interested to see if trying to lean on this really expensive spell is worthwhile or not. Buffing a champion is putting pants on, and Lee Sin is great at that. Vi also does that well, so we make a deck and we call it Levi Jeans. Oh, that's a good morning, Waffle. Thanks for the prime, I appreciate it. Hope you're staying safe out there. I would time you out if I could for that. Alright, so opponent is playing Trundle Oriensol. I think I want to keep both my pieces of ramp. I think I'm mulliganing both of these, looking for Warmother's Control as quickly as possible against an Oriensol deck, or Warmother's Call. So again, remember, if you don't spend mana, you can bank up to 3 of it across turns in Runeterra. So even though these pieces of ramp cost 5, you generally speaking play them on the 3rd turn because you bank your mana on turns 1 and 2, so you can play these out. Now my opponent's deck is also a ramp control deck, so kind of a ramp mirror here. You can see as they play out Grinding Stones like we are also playing. So we're both up a piece of mana here. That's a great draw. So if I Catalyst this turn, I'd have 7, 8 mana next turn. So I think I just 7, 8 mana next turn. I can't play this until I have 9 mana total. So if I play this out, I still can't play this any sooner than if I play this next turn. So we'll go ahead and just drop Trundle here, I think. Just look at this, a decent curve. So we'll go to 6 resources on my opponent's next turn. We'll cast Catalyst, and then we'll have 8 on our next turn, which will let us cast Ice Pillar and level up our Trundle. Opponent also accelerating. Something I'm kind of interested to see here is, so their top end is Oriensol here, obviously the Cosmic Space Dragon. Interested to see how that feels like it pairs into our pairs into what we have going on here. So I'm going to want to bank 3 spell mana this turn. So that way I can Warmother's Call next turn on 9 mana. So I'll have 9 plus my 3 extra. That being said, my opponent's at 9 mana right now, and they're going to go up to 10 next turn. So we could see hook this here so they can't block with it to draw a card. When this attacks, it gives itself +1 attack permanently for each card I behold. So in play or in hand, that costs 8+. So We have 1, 2, 3, 4 total.
One smack'll do.
It does, protagonist. So obviously you can't play a second champion while you already have one in play, but Warmother's Call is one of those cards like Rekindler that technically works around that restriction. If my opponent plays Oriensol here, I might also want to consider just breaking its shield and then ruinating. They did not, so I think we just Warmothers here. This will grab us a unit right away, and then at the beginning of each turn. Having this the turn we get to 9 mana and having accelerated a couple of times is very good. Okay.
Our strength is yours. Avarosans, stand together.
Annoying, but not the end of the world.
Look out for Reavers.
Look out for Reavers.
Light the signal fires.
My favorite Trundle deck. Yeah, it looked the most interesting of the match, Logan. Opponent's just passing. Do I just take the pass? I think I just take the pass. I feel like we're ahead right now, especially with these vengeances in hand. Morning, don't troll me. So, with the star shaping here, I think I actually want to Ruination. Because they could no longer... Yeah, definitely want a Ruination now, so... That'll come back, but that's fine. A lot of my board there was pretty bad.
I smell a fight. Do not stand in my way. Your favorite star. I created it.
So... I can Withering Wail, which will break the spell shield on this. And then I can Vengeance it, which sounds good. Yeah, no, I wanna gain 3 though, chat. I'm aware Troll Chant works. I know how that card works.
Nice to meet you. Ah!
If I go to 9... I think that's probably fine, right? I basically want to get set up to...
It's always cold in the
I want to get set up to have good open attacks next turn. Yeah, they're not Shadow Isles, right? They don't have Atrocity I need to play around. They're obliterating those. That's rude. Yeah, I suppose if I Vengeance this, there's a chance they don't have another Celestial. I don't remember. I don't think it's their only one. Let's find out. And this is, I really I really wish, that's true too. I could just vengeance this. Yeah, I'm gonna do that actually. Oh wait, that doesn't work. It's still the same instance. I really, this is something I've talked about before. I wish Runeterra would track more information for you that you could be tracking by hand. Like, all of the celestial cards that your opponent invokes over the course of the game, they should have some kind of hue around them in the hand. Like Fleeting does. Cards your opponent has that are, are ephemeral. These are things I could be tracking with a pencil and paper or a deck tracker that the client should be tracking for me. Turns out it didn't matter. But that would be ideal, I think, to have the client remind you of things that you would need to manually be tracking. Arena's good about that. It puts the little eye on cards. Or leave them flipped over. Sure, I'm not talking about giving you information you shouldn't have access to, innuendo. I'm talking about showing you effects like, sure, but like an effect like pick a card, for example, you could get rid of the hue on everything when you are no longer guaranteed to know every card in their hand. So that's also not a good excuse. It should still happen, you just have a trigger. It's like when you brainstorm in Magic Arena, it just hides all the revealed cards. Yeah. So like, you leave the public information public until there's a reason why you would no longer have access to it, effectively. It isn't even ambiguous, Plaid, because Runeterra is one of these games where you can track the turn people draw which cards in their hand. Like, if you have a deck tracker, you can track what turns people are doing things. I mean, I'm sure things like that are on their mind, Blue. And that's why, like, I'm not saying Runeterra is bad software or a bad game. I'm just listing things that would be good to give improvement, because that's what you should do if you enjoy something. You should be constructive and talk about things you would like to make it different and better. So, it's okay to be critical of things you like.
Strike quickly, strike primely.
Hey, Meatballs, thanks for the biddies. Get that added to the deck queue, huh? Man, drawing my Grinding Stones against Fiora seems not great.
This will be quick. I have no equal.
Correct, Harlequin. A lot of the historic decks are currently without lists, because they're built around submissions. God, Vile Feast is awful here, too.
I never hold back.
So I have 11 total mana here. So if I play this, I can still Atrocity. Opponent's playing Mono Fiora Entreat. So they're all in on their champion in play here. I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of protection spell here. They have 2 mana. All their deck does is protect this card.
Kings can't lose.
Pretty unfortunate pairing. Feels like a little bit, not even a little bit, a lot of wrong half problem there. The fact that, like, their deck cares about killing our units, and then we drew two of our only 3 cheap units that game that they were then able to kill and easily level their thing. Look at the Ruination. All of these seem fine against probably the They Who Endure aggro deck. Just looking to stay alive. Yeah, they actually showed us Radiant Light earlier that game too. So this will almost assuredly be a game where we Catalyst to the Aeons on 3, since we drew that. Catalyst on 3 lets us Trundle on 4, which is a nice curve.
Where are you?
Where are you?
We shall pierce their treasonous hearts.
The treasonous hearts. There's a small chance when I pass there that they burn my mana, but they're the beatdown in this matchup, so I think they're pretty obligated to attack. I like trying to make them attack there, so that way I get my game through. Remember, you can't heal above 20 here, so...
The trolls are going to war.
I wonder if because I drew this, I'm supposed to lead on Hearthguard just to get that trigger going right away. Just gonna end the round and burn their mana here. We're the control deck in this matchup. We're more favored as the game go along, so I don't really need to get a hit in with Trundle here. Role assessment's pretty important in Runeterra, especially with the priority system. What role your deck is taking, whether or not you're the beatdown or the controlling player, often dictates how willing you are to pass when your opponent passes to you to burn mana for both players.
Out of here.
I just take 2 here. I'm gonna take damage from this anyways, and I think I'd rather kill one or both of these before I kill these. Going up to 7 total mana here. I want to start by killing this. It's their reach. It could be wrong to use this though too, because they are They Who Endure deck, so having a hard answer like Vengeance to They Who Endure can be profitable. Especially they have like a draw 2 here. Yeah. Not a stellar exchange for us. So these being played here will allow them to level Kalista. These are ephemeral, so they die at end of turn, and her level up condition is see 3 plus allies die, so they're going to go ahead and get that here regardless. Also, though, there's no reason to attack, because these are ephemeral, so they'll just block with them, so we'll just pass here, and they'll get to level champion.
To all betrayers!
Play the ice pillar. Yeah, I think so. We're the whale's a fast spell, so we just play it inside of combat. So this gets our Trundle bundle leveled. So every time she attacks, she summons the strongest dead ally as an ephemeral.
And I thought I was a troll.
I must get out of here.
Oh, that's a real downside. Their strongest dead ally right now is Soul Collector. That's awkward. The other downside to waiting here is that not only does this happen, but now this doesn't take damage from Whale.
Come on, come on! Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Yeah, and that was something I mentioned in our early testing of Warmother's control. Like, when we had Orient Saw, like, having a ton of top end feels good, but Warmother's control, like, Warmother's Call, if that alone isn't enough to be top end for you, your deck's probably just not good enough. So we take 3, game 3, this kills that. Not really in a good spot for Trundle at the moment. Let's see if they have Vile Feast to finish my thing off here.
Every betrayal sharpens our resolve.
If they don't have a deal 1, this has Regenerate, which is really good for us. They have a deal 1. Thanks, Witch Doc. This will at least still be hooking Kalista here, giving her vulnerable, so my Hearthguard gets to get in here and kill this at least. That being said, my hand's really bad here, right? I do not have basically any answers. These atrocities looking really terrible. I'm just powering up a Behu Endure for next turn, it looks like. So Behu Endure is a 7-drop with Overwhelm that gets +1/+1 permanently when you play it for each unit you've had die. That was a good draw. So I assume they have a Behu Endure since they just threw away 3 units. Oh, I'm so dumb. I could have. It's early. I didn't kill their thing in response because I'm dumb.
Chains, they never stop.
You've been playing too much Magic where you can't respond to those types of effects. This deck we're playing feels kind of different than a lot of the other control decks I've played in Runeterra, traditionally speaking. Good morning, oldest son.
I got 1 minute now.
You got a lot of minutes now?
I've been done my book class in which I go on and
All betrayers end.
What that guy?
That's a Kalista.
I guy.
She's a spirit, like a ghost.
Bill goes with.
She's kind of spooky, huh?
Oh, he will create a village, okay? He will create a village.
So we can kill this with like whales and stuff eventually, but it's gonna take a little bit. I think we just do this and see what Nightfall card we get. We are combining our cards. You're right.
Yeah, we combine B boys. Okay, we combine bad B boys. Okay, combine them. Whoa, we got big cards.
I guess it's worth noting here that the way their mana's lined up, they could still play a They Who Endure and kill us, and now
Daddy, you got a sick card.
a sick card.
That is my card. Have that again.
Yeah, I played this game a little sloppy, but our deck did not really cooperate either.
Wow.
I don't think we're winning there regardless. Like I just have a whole bunch of nothing in my hand.
Help you, okay? I can help you.
Oh, are you a good card game player?
I good one. I good. I good.
Well, this deck doesn't have any shark cannons in it, so I don't know that it's very good.
I want it.
Yeah, like this deck feels very different than the other control decks I've played in Runeterra, previously speaking. Like, I feel like I've had more.
How about we
Jacob, you need to let Daddy talk, okay? This hand's very good here, especially against an aggro deck. AGH, thank you for the 29 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It is a long while. Yeah, I feel like we've had more wrong half problems in the 3 games that I've played so far this morning than I have in, like, the previous 3 months playing Runeterra.
Explosives primed. This'll shake 'em behind ya.
It's a good pickup. Play some more X1s out for me.
No one's the wiser.
I appreciate you, opponent. Definitely into this 2-for-1 here. We found a matchup where all of our deal ones are relevant, chat. Our points are here by the blue one, their points are by the red one.
He got the blue point and he got the red point. 20 points. He got 20 points.
Many more points? They do have 20 points, you're right.
Yeah.
That is accurate.
We're cracking right now.
Think that reflects on the deck or just bad beats? I mean, I think it definitely says something about deck construction. Like, if your deck is playing a lot of kind of narrow answers and cards that aren't generically good, like, you're gonna have wrong half problems like that more often. Good morning, Declan. No, it's just a little can. It doesn't come with a shark.
Wait. Good.
Yeah, the big difference in playing this, and I think part of the reason why I've been feeling like we've been having that wrong half problem so far today is this control deck plays to the board a lot less than most other control decks do in this game. We're just playing Trundle here, huh?
These are troll lands.
Get Fat Bottom Girl down. These are troll lands, also known as Twitch, an Amazon subsidiary.
Let's do this.
You can click on my guy? You can click on the guy.
But it's dead. Whoa, that. Now you take control.
Okay, I take control now.
For the Empire.
We're in that.
Interesting that they elected to hit their elusive against my Vile Beast deck. It's a good pickup too.
Is that we I did again?
Just gonna whale here, I think. Morning, Cootie. Definitely shooting this in response, because again, if we kill their thing before they can deal 3 to it, they do not get to gain life. So we're at 16 here with a pretty good board.
Croak if you work, run if you don't.
So let's go ahead and attack with these, force their keg to block. Three is not a significant sample size. You're right. 3 is not a significant sample size. That is why I talked about it from a theory perspective, not from a my data is this data is empirical evidence.
Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Love ya.
Lands now. It's good to be the king.
This is our guy. He's leveling up. That's our Trundle the Troll.
What the patrol?
He's got an ice sword.
I saw the powerful.
He is very powerful.
Yeah. He got healed. He touched something.
This is vulnerable, so I don't have to worry about killing that. I can hook it next turn, so I think I just grasp this. Because grasping this is basically a gain 5. But it's seen enough. So far, our deck is feeling kind of polarized.
Break something.
We did win, yep. Which, based on the answers this deck is playing, I guess that doesn't really surprise me. So far in the 4 matches we've played, it doesn't feel like we've had too many close ones. Yeah, it does. It does feel kind of Tron-esque. Hey, I love you, buddy, but you can't hum while you're sitting here, okay? You're welcome to hang out, but you can't hum, okay? Looks like a mirror match. I think I'm happy to keep Vengeance in the mirror. Definitely want Ramp on 3, Hearthguard on 4. Sounds good. We're gonna pick this card. Hey, Gnome Guri, thank you for the Brandy Prime Spot. I really appreciate that. Welcome to Glandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Okay, we're playing the Ramp Control Mirror. And we played Ramp on 3 and they didn't, so that probably bodes well for our hero. Again, just looking to play Warmother's Call the turn we have 9 mana. Sure, you got it.
Our banner will lead the way.
Kill your spider. Correct, Space Ace. I actually really like the fact that you can't go above 20 in Runeterra. It gives combat a lot of decisions, and it makes the games not drag on as much. Because it means you can't build... It makes the game stay closer a lot of times, because you can't build up an insurmountable advantage. So, I have 7 mana total here, so I think we just kill this, right? Combine our cards, knock it out. Yeah, I could see overheal being a specific mechanic, but in general, I like that it's not the norm in Runeterra. I think it's better for the game that it's not the norm. I assume they're gonna kill our 5/1 here. It's fine. So, I actually want to bank spell mana this turn because I would like to play Tryndamere next turn, and I want to play Warmother's Call the turn I get to 9 on the turn after that. So if I bank spell mana now, it sets me up to curve this into this over the next 2 turns. It is a spooky spider. Nah, I don't think that's annoying, Wanderer. I think, if anything, if there's units that are an issue getting to really large amounts of power, they should rebalance those units. I think the fact that you can't, like, the health total limitation in Runeterra is something that really limits garbage time in this game, which is great. This one's really cool. It's gonna light up the board. One Freljord.
Live to fight. This is our homeland.
Can you get double units with double Warmother? So you can, but remember there's the hard limit of 6 units on your board. So generally speaking, it's frequently incorrect to double Warmother's Call. There's their Warmothers, yep. Want to give thanks for the open this weekend by making the vast majority of time on stream games of Magic. You showed you valued your audience's time by giving them what they want. Put this towards Wargie's choice. Thanks for the support, Give. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and just Vengeance through their dorks here so we can try and have better open attacks next turn. So I'm waiting to see if they make any changes to the Magic ban list today before announcing our next event.
These are dark omens.
But we'll be announcing the formal details of our next open tonight for sure.
Stand and defend.
I'm not familiar at all with the Anivia version, don't joel me.
Impossible.
My overall feelings on this deck so far are I've kind of been whelmed by it. I'm not really impressed. So I think I might actually get the second Warmother's Call going here. I might be wrong, but it's fun. So again, for people that don't keep up with Magic's ban list, Wizards of the Coast refuses to communicate with their player base, and every week could be a ban list update. So we just don't know because they don't communicate with us. It isn't, there aren't scheduled ban list updates anymore, Wanderer, so every Monday could be an update. Second Warmother's Call for them. Alright, yep.
King of Trolls coming through.
So the problem here is if I play Ice Pillar out, because we hit these Rinding Stones, if I play the Ice Pillar out, I'm not going to get my hits from my Warmother's Call. Honestly, I think I'm supposed to Ice Pillar, level my Trundle, and then Ruination. Is that crazy?
Come on, come on!
I feel like that's not crazy.
Shiver in your boots. One troll to rule 'em all.
That's on their line too. We could kill our own thing with the pillar. So the problem here is, chat, they have 2 Warmothers going as well, and our board is now bad. They don't have to have an answer or it kills them. Not at all. We only have 1, 2, 3 things for it. This is only going to 10. I think I'm supposed to do this. And then hope that my pulls are better than theirs next turn.
Who would face me?
Just get our 3rd Grinding Stones. Yeah.
For the thrill of battle! This'll be a slaughter! They look angry! King of Wolves coming through! My blade grows restless. Nice to meet you. Ha! I'm gonna make a U-sickle. You're in my kingdom now.
Yeah, this is, I've really not cared for this deck so far this morning.
Can't handle a little cold.
It definitely feels like it's missing a lot of the things I've come to love and enjoy about Runeterra.
Death itself can't stop me. Get ready for a beatdown. They look angry.
I guess I put this in the way just in case. Good one. Thanks for the high five, dude. I don't know what you mean by play to our top decks, Wanderer. Our other games that we've played have felt pretty polarized so far, Amalakan. A lot of having a bunch of deal ones, a lot, like, our deck has 9 deal ones in it, and, like, if our opponent's decks don't have things that die to deal ones, we just, like, sit there without a bunch of cards. That's the troll chant. Damn, they're really excited. They're singing their song.
Let rage fill your soul.
I'm gonna play this as a game 4. think I'm shooting their face and seeing what we generate here. Extra point of damage there seems fine. Sure. So remember, we both have 2 Warmothers going, so we're both gonna get 2 dorks this turn. Okay.
For the thrill of Hailstriders.
Am I out of units? I'm out of units. Well, poop.
He got hit.
Lands now.
Atrocity saves us, does it? Oh, their Tryndamirs aren't leveled. Ha! If I kill one of these, they all level in response, right?
We kill people, boys. We do level up.
Come on, come on.
So we hit that one for 4, which levels all 3 of them. Then Ruination clears the board. If we're out of units, is it better to Atrocity here? Can you explain why it's better to Atrocity here, please? We currently have less cards, so I think we lose. Although their Warmothers... Oh yeah, they're at 12 cards, I'm at 10 cards. I think we're just dead, right? Because, like, there's no way they die to this, right? Because their deck is all these types of cards, too. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna give this one more try, but this deck, it's been kind of miserable so far.
You always will. You for one guy in the hall.
We always lose. We've lost a lot this morning.
You're so close. You're so close. Oh, Daddy, you're so close. You're so close. I love you.
It would be interesting. I'd be interested to see. I don't know if we get matchup data off of Mobalytics, but like for example, I wonder how much of this deck's success is predicated on its ability to beat up the pirate aggro deck, because it definitely seems good against the pirate aggro deck.
Raise your weapons, Sunwood. Punish transgressions.
If they don't break, they'll burn. Make the Empire proud.
Hey, Dows, I can definitely empathize with feeling a little burned on Magic in recent memory. I feel you there. If you haven't poked at Runeterra, I'd highly encourage you to give it a try. As someone who was feeling very burned on Magic for a long while before rotation, like, Runeterra reminded me, this deck's been kind of pooped that we're playing at this very moment, but in general, Runeterra was a good reminder of the things I loved about card games. Yeah, I don't think it provides specifics. I believe that's correct.
I can't move it. Why I can't move it?
Nope, we don't have any points left. We have zero points left. We played our troll and he was all of our points.
I don't carry change.
If I attack and they have transfusion, they trade one of their 4-power things for my Trundle, so I think that's not ideal, so I think I'm passing back here.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal.
Floaty crystals.
That queen was on, okay?
You got a problem?
Yeah, I get you, Daz. Lots of great things in life. Lots of great non-card games too. Been doing some variety stuff. There's a lot of great games out there. Alright, so they're trying to kill us with that, so I guess we're obligated to vengeance here, huh? And then if they have a transfusion, they get to kill Trundle, but that's fine. At least we're not dying. Pale Cascade, also a card lets them trade here. Oh wow, it doesn't even trade. Yeah, I probably should have blocked their 4-2, huh? So that way they weren't eating my thing in combat. Although I guess leaving this at 1 means it dies to Withering Wail, so it's not too big of a deal. I think I just do this, so that way they can't heal the 4-1 with gems afterwards. I was never super into the Baldur's Gate franchise, but I've heard a lot of people talk about the series of games, so it's probably something we'll play on stream when that drops here soon. That's supposed to happen around the end of the month, right?
Oh, he's running.
Yep. Love you, buddy. So if we make it out of this turn alive, we get to Warmother's Call next turn. We're not going to make it out of this turn alive, chat. I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. Hey, burn me out, baby.
These are troll lands.
Oh, I can't wait.
Looking into the future, I see purple.
I could have played Ice Pillar. That's a good call.
Ice to meet
Yeah, I should have played the Pillar.
Celestial power.
Up top. Nothing's tougher than a troll.
If I had the Pillar here, it would gain me 1 life. So that still wouldn't be enough to survive, though. I can gain 6 here, barring no tricks.
Come on. I'm not a loser. You're the loser.
Trundle is such a salty baby. Trundle. Pillar lets you attack the previous turn and kill one of their units. Yeah, that's a little bit better. There's no guarantee that that works, though. Like, there's a very real chance that their Pale Cascade, whatever deck gets to kill my Trundle with the combat trick instead of combat. Okay, I'm only getting all those, looking for a piece of ramp or some of our 2-mana deal ones. Found one of the two at least. Plays that were technically correct, but very likely wouldn't have mattered, our Twitch chat's favorite to point out.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Just gonna go ahead and do this now while they don't have a draw 2 up. Elise has Fearsomes, won't be able to block that, but we'll be able to trade our spider for the spider that she makes at the very least.
What's that noise?
Weak-willed fool.
So
Hush now.
I'm going to put this here. Troll chant, make you bigger, make you smaller, unspeakable horror, kill this.
You dare!
Gorgeous banking spell mana here. There's no real reason to play the 2-1 out, right? I guess it's just a blocker. Yeah, alright, I lied. Let's play 2-1. Might as well trade for one of their 1-1s next turn.
Nothing escapes my watch.
JK, we're going to whale. Allow me to sing you the song of my people.
Light the signal fire.
All for the best, my
Alright, the They Who Endure is plenty charged up at this point, as always. It's probably going to prioritize saving these vengeances for those, ideally. Wow, no plays there burning mana. That's good for us. Get these Hearth cards down. Just try and get their triggers into the deck so if we draw any more of our units, we can have them be powered up ASAP. I can't play Trundle's Ice Pillar next turn anyways, so why not block Elise? Because she's fearsome. She's very scary.
Lovely day for a battle. The trolls are going to war!
The fact that Vengeance is a really expensive card in terms of mana that also does not trigger your level Trundle feels kind of awkward in this build too. It's like a card you can't play till late, but it also just like doesn't synergize with his Behold.
Power in my kingdom now. I smell a fight!
Yeah, the fact that Collector was incidentally their largest unit was very good for us here. Morning, Kyle. Kyle, the decent lawyer. I assume you are previously a crappy lawyer?
Be a slaughter. Today we fight as one.
Formerly known as. I have leveled up. You love to see it.
Gonna be fun.
You love to see it. I like hooking Neverglade Collector with the Tryndamere, so this way if they have a Vengeance, this still dies. With our 2 copies of Vengeance in hand, feeling pretty reasonable here. Even if my opponent has They Who Endure, we have answers to it. I hope it went really well, Blevins. Had a really great viewer count for my channel. I think we averaged 2,400 people for the 7-hour stream, and we peaked a little over 3,300. Just quite fantastic. We covered 15 full matches start to finish in little over 7 hours. About 81% of our stream was spent covering actual games being played, which is excellent. The fact that that's their play instead of Atrocity is real good for us.
The Warmother will unite us all.
The Warmother will unite us all. We definitely can bump up Bannerman. Thanks for using your shillings there, Hank. Good morning. So like, I kind of feel like this last game highlighted the type of game I prefer to play with the more controlling decks in this game. Like, there's just so many situational cards in this deck that I'm not a huge fan of them. Will you see Corey at events in the future? Probably. For the next one, I'm going to be working with Jim Davis. He's another Magic content creator. He's also sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc. Cool Stuff Inc.'s been happy with the tournaments we've been running so far, and they asked me if I could expand into working with more of their other sponsored creators. Yeah, Jim's always seemed like a good dude. He's someone that was grinding the SCG tour at the same time frame I was, so we interacted at events a number of times. And I don't believe in paying people in exposure, so like everybody that's working on the event I pay actual dollars to, and Cool Stuff thinks that if I work with some of their other creators, they'll pay for my second commentator, so I don't have to. So that would be great to be able to not have to absorb that operating cost. Especially if like we're looking into starting to do 2 events per month. So October, we're going to do 2 open, so if I don't have to pay a commentator for those, it makes it easier for me to continually do more events.
Extend yourself.
Oh, that's Elysian. Yeah, Jim actually played in our tournament yesterday, and I think he played the one before that too. I always try to invite other content creators. I think we're just trying to kill him. If they have Bastion, we need to work through it so our Ruinations can eventually clean out the board. Yeah, maybe Rexbox. So the problem with that is my opponent could potentially tempo my mana if I did that. I'm just gonna go ahead and play my more expensive card here. Even if they have Pale Cascade, I get to go ahead and Vile Feast here in response. Yep. That is a big goat, chat. That is a very large mountain mammal.
They say these were from the Protector himself.
At least some of the buffs are just temporary. Now, so I could take a hit this turn, and then I can crystal bank 2. Damn, I can't. I'm not gonna have enough to Warmother's next turn regardless, right? It's unfortunate. I think I'm gonna block here because I'm planning to Ruination next turn. So I can Ruination next turn,
These gems
and
grant
then
a
I could Warmother's Call in 2 turns.
The spirit gives to those who listen. They say these were from the Protector himself.
Nah, I don't think so, Beansy. I'm expecting to have to write my own ban announcement tonight.
What is gained when we return malevolence?
Wizards doesn't manage their formats. They don't believe in it. The tough part about ruinating on my turn here is that my opponent gets to play some units out and then open attacks next turn, but I'm also at 18, so I think that's okay. We could also get denied here. They are an Ionia deck. For the next Hoaglandia Open, I will be banning Uro, Muxus, and Claim the Firstborn. I did just tweet at someone who was incredibly obtuse. Someone responded to my post about we need to ban about banning Uro with, okay, then what card will people complain about next? Like, just the idea that Uro's just like any other Magic card is just like so very, very silly. Alright, I think I'm just Warping Wailing here to kill these two. This lets us bank 3 mana so I can Warmother's Call next turn. Yeah, the next Hoaglandia Open will be historic. So this is a big assumption, but assuming Magic standard format isn't a dumpster fire, I plan to do 1 historic and 1 standard event every month alternating. But their standard format not being a dumpster fire is kind of a tall order. Hey, physicist, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back.
What is gained when we return malevolence?
I'm excited to get denied. I feel like I'm pretty off this deck. I'm gonna play some historic. This one felt like a pretty big miss to me. This is And while I love that we have more data in Runeterra than in Magic, this deck to me really makes me wish I could see actual matchup data, like if we had better information than we have, because I would really love to see what percentage of this deck doing well and getting S tier based on win rate on Mobalytics is it getting to beat up on, like, the thing, to be concise, I would like to know what this deck's win rate is against decks that don't have a bunch of things that die to 1 damage spells. Like, Withering Wail, Unspeakable Horror, and Vile Beast here. This is so much of this effect, and so many of our games, it just felt like I had a bunch of cards that didn't do anything. And that's very atypical of a lot of the decks that I played in Runeterra. And I think a big part of that is the fact that this deck doesn't play to the board like most Runeterra decks do felt really bad. Like, the fact that it's trying to maximize its big hits with Warmother's Call, and in order to do so, it is eschewing playing other units, has felt bad. The latter felt really, we're wrapping up Mom's Den with this one, and it really did not feel good. I also think Blevins hits it there too. Iona getting a boost from, I think this is currently S tier, right? Yeah, it's currently listed as S tier on Mobalytics. Maybe they need to update that. So they're not, it's not just, so there's more than just Swim and Alzacu that make those tier lists, but there's some feelings in there, but it's also based on matchup data. So Mobalytics has an incredible amount of matchup data as well. So, like, that, in my opinion, is how a tier list should be curated. You shouldn't go just on numbers or just on feelings. You should have players that understand what's going on, using a mix of the two to help people understand how things work. So I don't think there's matchup data on Mobalytics, Crazy Duck. Can you link where to find it? Like, where, I know you have win rates of decks, but I don't think I can look and see, like, what is this deck's win rate versus Pirate aggro, for example. Where do I see that? Where's that at on here? Let's click it. Let's just click into a random one. I assume it's in here. Let me pin this stupid thing so I can stop. Stay always on top. Thank you. Very bottom. Matchups. Okay, so there's... So, like, here, we can look at it here. So I can see region combinations, which I guess almost gets me there. But this isn't quite matchup data, right? I suppose it's better than nothing. Also, is this deck just not listed here? Like, literally, it's a Freljord deck, right? And so here's They Who Endure. It's also a Freljord chat. Is it just, like, not listed in the actual data? Oh, weird. Yeah, and see, like, this isn't useful either, right? Or if I click in here, does it show me? Does it show me just this deck? No? So, like, even in here, I can't, like, this is useless. This is actually useless because of how it's grouped, right? Because They Who Endure and this deck are the same region, so they're only grouping by regions in here. And like obviously this deck has a good win rate overall here, it says, based on whatever play rate we have here at 6.1%, but like this, for example, like even though these both are at the same percentage, this is way more impressive because it has a much higher play rate, right? No, it's just pairs. It's all just broken down by region, which unfortunately this is just not, it's not precise enough. Yeah, Trundle Bundle's the same region combo as well. Yeah, 5,000 matches for, and like 5,000 still a good sample size, right? Like that's a pretty big number. Is cards and decks, so like these aren't about matchup data again. Like yeah, none of this is what I'm actually asking to see, right? I want to know, how does this deck do against decks that where like your 1 damage things don't matter. At any rate, I don't think I'd play this again. It felt very wrong, halfy, and awkward, and I don't think I would want to play another Runeterra deck that doesn't play to the board. This is very not playing to the board made the deck feel like it didn't have the things that I enjoy about Runeterra because it wasn't playing to the board. What's been my least favorite deck this expansion? I don't know. There's been a few things that have felt like misses. Honestly, this is probably the biggest miss we've played.